It's time for Speaking of Speaking. Quick tips and tools to take you from stage fright to spotlight. This podcast gives you an inside look from the world of public speaking and speaking secrets you need to be bold from the stage, no matter what business you're in. The host of Speaking, Carl Richards.
Thank you, Matt. Here we are, episode 5 of Speaking of Speaking. Today we'll be talking about 3 more words that are killing your business. By the way, if you caught our last episode, those 3 first words that are killing your business were I am a. Got a lot of feedback on that. A lot of people going, I don't know if I agree with that. Try it. And by the way, if you ever want to have a conversation about it, you can reach out by sending me an email. Ask Carl at carlspeaks.ca. We can schedule some time to talk about your needs for speaking. But before we get to the 3 more words that are killing your business, maybe even making it difficult for you to get in front of an audience or expand your business by speaking more about what it is that you do, I want to bring you the first episode of Tales from the World of Public Speaking. I've gotten a lot of invitations over the years from business coaches who reach out from time to time. Now, obviously, I've subscribed to some of these, and I get updates all the time. However, some of them just randomly pop up on social media. You know what that's like. And I've noticed a lot of ads lately for comprehensive courses surrounding public speaking. And some of these programs, and again, this is more of a buyer beware segment. Some of these programs are at the ridiculously low price of $24.99. And I was going through some of them. I actually signed up for one of them just to see what the competition is doing, to see what the competition is offering for $24.99. Because if you say that it's a comprehensive course, it's the only public speaking course you're ever going to need, and it's only $24.99, and the course is usually several $1,000s, it's 99% off the regular price. As a buyer, I scratch my head and say, okay, what's the catch? What am I not getting, or what are you going to try and hook me into after this point? So after I've completed this course, then what are you going to try to sell me? So be wary of those free courses. Be wary of the ones that say you're going to get all this value and it's only $24.99, or it's only $10, or do this, it's free. Be wary of those. And by the way, if you ever want to know if a particular course you're looking at taking has that value, has good value, and it is low priced, reach out to me. By all means. Again, my email, askcarl@carlspeaks.ca. Even if you don't want coaching with me, you just want an assessment of that program and whether or not I think it's worth your $25, I'll be honest and I'll share that with you. Now, there are a lot of programs out there that are introductory courses that offer online study with no one-on-one coaching to go along with it. They're all plug-and-play online programs, $25, $50, $100. Those are okay. But if you're thinking for $25, you're going to get everything you need from a program, you're probably being misled. And again, if you want to have my assessment, more than happy to do that for you. Ask Carl at carlspeaks.ca. Okay, 3 more words that are killing your business. Quite often when I'm at trade shows or conferences or business mixers, if I'm a vendor and I have a table set up, a lot of people will come up and they'll be talking to me, and I'll engage them in discussion about what their needs are, what their business goals are. And of course, I will share with them that, the quickest, most effective way to grow your business is by speaking about what it is that you do. And usually they'll agree, and we'll start talking about what their plan is for speaking this year and how many times they're speaking. A lot of people don't have that as their plan. It's funny because a lot of people will invest a lot of money in websites, business cards, other promotional material, brochures, flyers, posters. But the one thing that they won't invest in is their speaking. They won't spend time either taking a speaking program, or again, they'll do something that's very quick and very cheap, like the types of programs I just mentioned, or they won't want to invest in getting on stage as much as they need to and getting in front of new clientele on a regular basis. So the 3 words that I hear often And these usually aren't when I'm in front of people. These are usually later when I'm doing a follow-up call for people who have scheduled a breakthrough session with me, or after an event, I always follow up. Follow-up is huge. And I will always follow up with people and say, hey, it was great to meet you at this event. Let's get started. If you're ready, let's get going. Here are the 3 words I will hear quite often as soon as I say, hey, I have this program for you, or are you ready to get started? People will say, I'll start when. I'll start when. People who are in the process of writing a book use these words a lot. As a matter of fact, I have an on-again, off-again client who uses these words all the time. Now, the book excuse is the number one thing I hear from people who want to speak for a living. And it's not just about speakers. They'll say, I'll start when I finished my book. So I'll take your public speaking program, or I'll start doing more speaking when I finished my book. Because the logic is, as soon as I've finished my book, well, I'm going to need to go out and promote it. So I'll be going on book tours. I will start thinking about that then. I have a colleague who's a musician and wants to showcase more about what he does. So I've said, why not start doing Facebook Live videos? And he dances around multiple excuses, including the excuse of not enough time, followed by, I'll start when my schedule clears a little. But the reason why people don't start or take several years to start is not because they're not motivated. It's not because they don't want to succeed. It's not because they don't see themselves in a position of success. And maybe they don't. And that's another discussion altogether. And certainly if that's you, I have a couple of fantastic referrals for people who are business coaches who will help you get those excuses out of your mind. But the reason why a lot of people don't start is because you have to remove something out of your life to make time for what needs to get done. And people don't want to remove anything from their life. Hence the excuse, I don't have time for, and I'll start when. And when you walk through this with people, and I've done this many times. As a matter of fact, in a past life, I worked in the financial services industry, and I would quite often meet with clients, and I would spend quite a bit of time in front of the client, but then also behind the scenes doing their needs analysis. And when I would present their needs analysis, and by the way, I would always ask before I went away to do their needs analysis, I would say, is there any reason why, if I can come up with a plan that is tailored to your needs, why you wouldn't want to follow through with this plan? And of course, usually the answer is no, there's no reason at all. When I come back with the plan and walk through it, that's when the excuses roll in. Now, for a lot of people in the financial world, it's, I don't have the money. Well, if I show you how we can free up more money, will that change anything? Some people still say, well, I still don't have the money. So, but understand, I'll start when means you have to remove something from your life. So in the financial world, when we would sit with people and do needs analysis, we would suggest that, well, maybe we have to restructure what you're doing with your money, how you're spending your money. It's the same thing in the business world and in the speaking world. You have to remove something from your life, those barriers or those blocks that are leading you to creating those excuses. So some people create the excuses because they're spending too much time in another area. So for example, a lot of people spending too much time on social media. And I'm not talking about, 30 minutes or an hour a day on social media. I'm talking about people who will spend a half day doing Facebook Live videos or a half day doing all kinds of posts, scheduling them. And then by the time they look at their clock, like their day's half done, well, there's really no time to start something else. So I may as well just call it a day. The other thing that gets in the way is distractions. Television is a big one. Oh my goodness, cell phones. Because everything we can do now is on a cell phone, we spend countless hours on our cell phones, on social media, on apps, playing games, whatever it is. So then, now we don't tell people this. We don't tell our colleagues this because we don't want them to think that we're infallible, even though they already know. But we don't want them to know that, we spend a lot of our time in our days on social media or playing games. And by the way, I'll be very honest. I have games that I play on my phone, especially if I'm on the train or something, or if I'm in a place where I know I'm not going to get any work done. I'm definitely playing a game of some kind. But it's how you structure your time. What things can you remove that are helping create those excuses? You see, you need to understand that this whole I'll start when thing, it's an illusion. It's an illusion. Start now. Start now. If I told you I had all the tools you need to grow your business and be seen as the expert, how many of you would want those tools? I would probably say the majority of you would say, yep, sign me up. Give me all the tools. Here's the irony. The quickest, most effective way to grow your business is by speaking about what it is that you do. How many of you still want those tools? Maybe a few less hands, because now all of a sudden, you have to make a commitment. You have to go out and speak. The quickest, most effective way to grow your business is by speaking and by starting now. You may be afraid to start now, because starting now means speaking. And let's face it, a lot of us hate speaking about what we do because, some of us aren't good at it. And I'll be the first to say it's okay. It's not your fault. You probably haven't been given enough instruction to do it. Or maybe all of those other excuses are getting in the way. When my book is finished, then I'll look at it. So how do you eliminate those three words? I'll start when? Well, number one is, and we've already covered it, start now. Start right now. What do you need to do to shift your business and position yourself as the expert? And if speaking is one of them, and I'm sure it is, then start now. And by the way, if you want to start now, reach out to me. Ask Carl at carlspeaks.ca. I'm happy to help you on your journey. That doesn't mean that you and I will do business together. It doesn't mean that you'll instantly become a client, but I'll help you on your journey. Number 2, make a commitment. What's your goal? Where do you want to be a year from now? What's your goal for speaking? What's your goal for business? My goal is to speak at least once a month. And I don't mean in my networking groups. I mean speaking once a month in front of a new group, in front of a new audience every single month. Once a month. Now, that's not very aggressive. I know people who want to do that every week. But look at your own situation and say, what's your goal? What's your goal for business? Do you want to double your revenue? Do you want to add 25%? Because if you do, there's a good chance you need to add speaking as one of those components to help you get there. And number 3 is get help. There is not one successful business person who thought they could do it alone. Even the great and wonderful Tony Robbins, who's revered by so many people as the guru of life transformation, he's had help along the way, and he still does. I'm not sure of the exact number, but I know he has a team of coaches and consultants to help him. Athletes who compete in the Olympics, they have coaches that help them get to whatever games, whether it's the summer games or the winter games. They have people to help them get there. So get the help you need. Now, for some people, maybe it's taking the step and joining a Toastmasters club. Maybe it's taking the first step and checking out one of those $25 courses. And then when you're ready, getting the help of a professional such as myself to help you on your journey. But start now. Because I'll start when could mean you go through this entire year, and then all of a sudden you look back and go, oh wait, nothing's changed. And we've all heard the definition of insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results. So if you want different results, you want more business growth, you want to be a better speaker, don't say I'll start when. Start now. Make the commitment. Find out how many times a year you want to speak. Where do you want your business to be this time a year from now? And then get the help you need, whatever that help is. And by the way, if you want more information, if you want to see if I'm the guy that can help you, drop me an email. We'll explore it through a speaking breakthrough session. And in a speaking breakthrough session, we'll explore what your goals are, identify the 7 things that could be holding you back, and then we'll set a plan in motion to get you moving towards your goals for business and your goals for speaking. That's it for today. We'll leave it at that. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, it's Carl Richards. Have a fantastic day.
Thanks for listening to the Speaking of Speaking podcast. Fired up about something you heard today? Want to learn more? Be sure to visit carlspeaks.ca. And don't forget to follow Carl on Twitter at CarlRichards72 or join the Facebook group Speaking of Speaking.